1960, one woman changed the destiny of an entire nation. She was young, foreign, and had no reason to stay, yet she did. Her courage defeated a disease the world feared the most. Welcome to Historical Stories. This is the true story of Dr. Ruth Pfau. Dr. Ruth Pfau, the angel who erased leprosy from Pakistan. This is a story from 1960. A German woman, about 30 years old, young and beautiful by appearance and a doctor by profession, came to Pakistan and made it her home. What brought her here? The reason was a documentary film aired by the BBC in London about patients suffering from leprosy in Pakistan. The film showed how unbearably painful and miserable the lives of these patients were. Leprosy caused sores to appear on different parts of the body. These sores would ooze pus, and gradually the affected body parts would start to rot and decay. Eventually, flesh would separate from the bones and fall away. At that time, the disease was considered incurable and was labeled as divine punishment. Patients were isolated from society. In those days, there was a place on I Chandigarh Road in Karachi where leprosy patients were confined. Some compassionate people would throw bread to them from outside the boundary wall and then leave. The severity of the disease, combined with society's cruel attitude, became a double torment for these patients. Even their own families turned their backs on them, and their fate was to die slowly, sobbing in helplessness. That German woman was Dr. Ruth Pfau. She arrived in Karachi in 1960. She had been sent to Pakistan by a Christian missionary organization. On I Chandigarh Road, she opened a small clinic, a hut, in fact, right among the leprosy patients themselves, and began treating them. For 3 long years, Dr. Pfau worked tirelessly to convince people that leprosy was a disease, a test from Allah, and calling it a divine curse was sheer ignorance and lack of knowledge. Eventually, in 1963, Dr. I.K. Dill and his staff joined hands with her, and several nurses also became part of her team. Thus, the difficult journey that this brave woman had started alone slowly began to turn into a caravan. The dedication, compassion, and tenderness with which Dr. Pfau treated leprosy patients remain a living example of humanity. Patients whom even their own families feared and abandoned, she personally cleaned their wounds, dressed their sores, comforted them, and gave them the courage to live through her kind and reassuring words. As more people joined her mission, the need arose for a larger hospital, a sanatorium for these patients. In 1963, the estimated cost for this project was around 9 million rupees. To achieve this goal, Dr. Pfau returned to Germany, informed her people about the cause, and openly appealed for help. She returned to Pakistan only after successfully arranging the required funds. Finally, in 1965, the Marie Adelaide Leprosy Center was established. From that point onward, her tireless efforts against leprosy began to bear visible fruit. Dr. Pfau devoted all her time and energy to this hospital and its patients. Despite having a large staff, she never returned to Germany. Instead, she continued to fight relentlessly against leprosy in Pakistan. Gradually, branches of the Marie Adelaide Leprosy Center were established in other parts of the country. She pursued this deadly disease into the farthest corners of Pakistan. Her services were unparalleled. Despite not being a citizen of this country, the battle she fought was extraordinary. People, both locals and outsiders, openly acknowledged her contributions. She received numerous prestigious awards in recognition of her services. Finally, in 1990, she was granted Pakistani citizenship. Even though she was a single woman, the war she waged against this fatal disease produced remarkable results. In 1996, the World Health Organization declared Pakistan 100% free of leprosy. At that time, Pakistan became the first country in Asia to be recognized as completely free from this deadly disease. She witnessed the success of her efforts with her own eyes, yet she did not rest. With the same dedication, love, and perseverance, she continued serving patients. She made it her lifelong mission to keep every corner of Pakistan free of leprosy, and she remained committed to this mission until her last breath. Then came the day, 19 August, when Dr. Pfau departed from this world. Her admirers received the heartbreaking news of her passing, and it was announced that her funeral and last rites would be held on the same day. Dr. Pfau spent her entire life alone. She suppressed her personal desires and placed her mission above everything else. She never married. At last, 19 August arrived. As per her will, her body was brought to the Marie Adelaide Leprosy Center. When her coffin arrived, those associated with her and her devoted followers could not control their emotions. Overwhelmed with grief, people wept uncontrollably. All major dignitaries of the country attended her funeral and burial. Thus, that angelic woman who gave 57 years of her life to this country without any reward or personal gain, and who remained a message of healing from Allah for patients suffering from a deadly disease, was laid to rest on 19 August 2017. Throughout her life, Dr. Pfau lived in a single room. In that room were a charpai, a water cooler placed to one side, and a few books for reading. This was the sum total of her worldly possessions. Some heroes don't wear crowns, they carry compassion. Dr. Ruth Pfau proved that humanity knows no borders. If this story touched your heart, remember her in your prayers. This was Historical Stories, where real heroes never fade. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.